And one more other tip that I want to give you about dating as per se, like any dating, online dating, face-to-face dating, Lily, stop it. Then I just have to say that one thing: do rotational dating, okay? If you're the person that you're a bit scared of dating and you just feel like, oh, you know, now you're talking to that guy and he's so sweet, so nice, then you're gonna stop talking to everybody else, you lose. Yes, I said that. Hello everyone, welcome YouTube. Hi, how are you doing today? I'm so excited because today I do want to share a bit of my story and how I met my husband, but I also want to give you some tips of how to navigate around online dating world and how to do your best to get the best results. I met my husband, as I said, about 2.5 years ago, but before that I was single for a while, and being single was my own decision. I said, like, after a bit heartbreaking relationship, and it wasn't heartbreaking because of whatever he was doing wrong, it was a bit of me, and back then I just didn't know exactly what I wanted, and I wanted one thing and I didn't want it, and then I wanted again and I didn't want it. The life was so confusing for me until I became single, and I was just enjoying my life. My life was good. I was working, I was studying, I was just partying, enjoying my job and going on future adventure, like traveling, like everything, okay? After a few years of being like proper single, I wanted to date people, I wanted to go out there and meet somebody and maybe even create a family, but I wasn't so sure back then. So as I was meeting all these guys through different sources, a lot of people knew that I'm single, so they were introducing me to all these guys, and I wasn't very happy about it, okay? Like back then I was like, I'm gonna do it myself. If I want to meet somebody, I'm gonna do it. Like, you don't have to introduce him or them, like, just do it myself, sort of a thing. I'm sorry, I had to let my cat go. She wanted to go out. Right. I wasn't meeting the right guys. And I didn't really know why, okay? I thought, I'm ready, I'm so great, I'm doing everything right. Why am I not meeting the right people? My parents are quite traditional. My mom didn't work much in her life. She was only working, like, helping my father with his businesses, but my father never wanted her to work. And I think, like, even though my dad, he wasn't a very emotional person, he's not a very emotional person, still he always wanted to provide and for his family and protect his family. So that was the values that I was growing up with, but I was always against everyone, and I wanted to, like, do it myself, and I was that independent woman. I went with the flow and with all that bollocking that's happening at the moment. And after I started living on my own again, I just realized, like, I was already like 20 something years old, and I thought, like, it's time for me to create my own family as well. It was the feeling that I had, like, deep inside me. I'm gonna go out there and do my best, and I'm gonna be all in. And yes, this time I'm gonna tell all my friends that I'm ready to mingle. I'm ready for a relationship. Back then I was like, oh, I'm a bit shy, I'm a bit afraid, I'm a bit this. Like, don't be. If whatever you're looking for, you have to go for it. If you're looking for a marriage, you need to say it out loud. You need to say it to everyone. You need to own it. You need to own what you believe, and you just need to own it, guys. So I went all in, and I created another Tinder profile. It was just, so easy. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And for a couple of weeks, I was like, no, 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 no. I had such big expectations, and I knew exactly what I wanted. So I was like, no, 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 no. But then I had the feeling that maybe I'm letting go a very good man. I'm just not seeing a very good man around me because I was keep saying no to all this very silly stuff. He smiled wrong, or he did this wrong, like very silly stuff that you probably wouldn't even realize in real life. So then I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna expand my horizons, and I will let other guys, you know, I will meet different guys this time. So as I'm scrolling on Tinder, I see these guys and I'm like, okay, maybe, okay, yes, okay, let's have a look, you know, let's give it all in. And I remember that moment when I saw my husband for the first time. Maybe in a different scenario I'd be like, nah, no, not for me, for whatever reason. But then I looked at on his pictures, and what I could gather from just a few pictures, he had the black belt. I think he was training karate. I think it was that. I'm not 100% sure what he was training, but anyway, he had the black belt. So in my head I thought, okay, he must be disciplined, okay, he must have some hobbies, which is really good. On the next picture he was I think he won like few races, he was running as well, so I'm like, so good, you know, he was into sport, and I was into sport as well. And then he smiled. Yeah, I think the smile was, his smile was so good, was so charming, and that's why I said, okay, let's meet up. You impressed me with a lot of small things that he did. So for example, I told him that I like one drink, and for the first evening, for the first date, he literally made that drink at home. He put it in the bottle, and at the end of the date he was like, oh yeah, I have something for you, you know. He brought the flowers, which I love, and he opened the doors for me. Many small things that I do believe they are important for me. They don't have to necessarily be important for you, but just make sure whatever he's doing, you see the small, you know, the small efforts that he's making. It's really not about him being a millionaire. It's really not about him taking you on very expensive holidays. Like, trust me, I had that. I used to date very wealthy people and very wealthy men, and I wouldn't say they were, you know, I just didn't feel like this is it. Because even though a person can have money, a guy can be very successful, he can have like very expensive cars, it's not going to create a family, you know. Just the fact that he has a lot of money, it's not going to create what you want and what you're looking in life. So that's very important. Number one, don't go just for the money, don't go just for the looks, definitely not for the looks when it comes to the guys. Don't go just for what you see. Like, ask yourself, what is he's doing for me in a small situations. But back into my story, when it comes to online dating, and especially you know, Tinder, you only have like few seconds until the guy gonna say yes or no. And yes, you're right, it's all about the looks, but I also believe the profile and what you're putting on that profile is super important, okay? So out of curiosity, I've done a fake profile as a guy, and I said, yes, I like all the women. Just to see like how do they represent themselves, you know, what's the only dating word about these days. And I was shocked that women, they just didn't really respect themselves at all. They put all sorts of stuff saying like, yes, I'm ready for S word, and I'm gonna give you a good ride, you know, things that was very sexual. So tip number one, your online presence. It's super important. If you want to meet the right person, you need to introduce yourself in a nice, clear way that is not very sexual, that's not very like, come here, you know, we can go one night stand. That's, unless that's what you're looking for. You know, I've got nothing against anybody doing anything. If you're looking for one night stand, there you go, you know exactly what to say. I probably don't have to teach you a lot. But let's say if you're looking for a relationship, okay, so let's say you're not ready for the marriage, you're looking for the relationship, you need to say it in your profile. Hi, this is Lava. You know, some people, I've seen a lot of people saying like, I've been single for so many years, now I'm looking for this. Like, you don't have to say any of these. Nobody cares how many years you've been single. And if they ask you this boring question, like, this is just so boring and lame, You don't have to say how many years you've been single for. You don't have to say how much money you make. You don't have to say anything of like nothing like this. You need to make sure that in your profile you put what you want, what you're looking for specifically, what your hobbies are, what you like doing. You know, you need to introduce yourself saying that you have a hobby, you have a life. I'm not saying about the job specifically. I'm saying more about like, you know, I enjoy meeting with my family, I enjoy going to church, I enjoy whatever you've enjoyed doing. Okay, so tip number 1, make your profile stand out by being you, by saying what you want and what you're looking for. A lot of people don't do it these days. So I had a problem at first when I was looking for the marriage. I thought, oh my god, like I just can't put it on my profile because everybody was keep telling me, yeah, you're gonna look like you are what they've been saying. Yeah, my friends told me, if you're gonna put a word marriage in your profile, that means that you're gonna be desperate and anybody can, you know, like desperate girl and anybody would be after you. No, absolutely not true, because there are a lot of people out there and everybody looking for different things. So straight away, just by saying what you're looking for, if the person who's gonna see your profile, he will be like, you know what, I'm not ready for marriage, I'm not ready for kids, I'm not ready for any of this malarkey, he will just say no to you and you're not gonna meet a match. You will not match because this is not what he's been looking for. So that's a good thing, and don't be afraid of rejection. Never ever ever be afraid of rejection, but never ever come after guys either. I give you another scenario. Let's say you are very afraid of communicating what you're looking for and speaking your own truth. You go on a date, so you never put that in your profile. Like in your profile, you will use something like, oh, I love traveling and I'm just like so ready for fun. Okay, so the guy who is really into traveling, or he's like, oh yeah, she's nice, let's just go on a date with her. He will, the guys, I feel like guys have much more confidence and they can say a lot more things in a very clear way, unless they're a player and they know exactly how to play this game. But any normal guy, he will probably take you on a date, see how you are, what you want about, and will want to go to bed with you. And that's normal. Okay, any guy, a normal heterosexual guy, will want to take you to the bed, and that's normal. That's our physiology, that's our nature. And if you feel like, oh no, he's not like this, everybody is. Every single man will see how much he needs to spend until he's gonna get what he wants. So that's why if you are not saying what you want, it will create a clash. Okay, it's gonna create a clash either at the beginning or later on, because if you're gonna play that game, you're gonna play the game that you like traveling, you don't want the family, deep down inside you're gonna be miserable because he's not the guy who's gonna give you what you want. So pretending, trying to be somebody who you're not, it's not gonna give you any results. You need to know what you want. Okay, so there's one more different scenario. Very rare when you communicate to the man what you're looking for, he will play with your scenario and he will be like, yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my wifey, blah 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 blah, just to get what he wants. You need to be smart. You need to know how to play your game, and you need to know what you will allow and what you wouldn't allow. And some women, they're very easy to play with. You can only give them a few nice words, you can take them out, and then straight away she will be ready for everything and anything. So you need to stand your ground, and if you have the rules, you need to stick to your rules. So if the rule is you're not going with him doing whatever you want to do until you will get engaged, then this is your role and you stick to it no matter what he's saying or no matter what he's promising, because girl, words are so cheap these days. He can tell you anything and you're gonna believe it like there's no tomorrow. So I've talked a bit about your online presence, about your description, about your profile. The pictures, very important as well. The pictures needs to communicate who you are. So back then I had a handful of different pictures, but quite a few of them was from the different places that I've been and different places that I traveled to. And I've noticed a lot of people, you know, a lot of guys liked it because straight away they can ask a question rather than being like boring and hi, how are you? Straight away they could ask, oh, where is this? You know, where is this lovely place? Where have you been? So we can start to talk about traveling. We can start to talk like what we want to do in life and where we want to go in the future. So it doesn't have to be boring. You just have to play with the ideas, you know. And let's say you haven't been anywhere that much, you haven't go abroad. You can always take a few pictures from, you know, from a park, from different places. You know, like when I look at some profiles, female profiles, and they only have like literally like one picture showing like this, okay? This. Just like with the headshot. And that was just one picture, like no explanation whatsoever, just one picture, and the lady was hoping that she will get someone good. Just that, and she wasn't even smiling, she was just like very angry, evil look. I don't think they will get you very far. No. One picture, no explanation, miserable face. It says to the guy, imagine how many pictures the guys see on Tinder or any other online website. How many profiles are out there for them to like or not to like? You think he's gonna be liking everything? No. Well, not anybody normal would. I believe you, the guy is serious about, you know, his life and about the people he want to meet with and the people he want to introduce to his family. Well, definitely, you know, I wouldn't go for anybody. And you need to treat the dating as a game, but also as a much more important game than you can even imagine. You know, dating is collecting the data. So when you're dating, eventually what you're doing, you are collecting the data about this person, okay? You want to know if he's going to be a good husband, if he's going to be a good father for your children. Is he going to be, let's say you even don't want that. Let's say, you know, in a 20 years time, is he going to still provide and protect for you if you're not going to be so young and so beautiful anymore? Because sometimes beauty is disappearing very quickly. You know, you can be beautiful one day and 10 years later you can be a completely different person. When I used to go to secondary school, I was looking at different girls and I was like, oh my god, they're so beautiful, you know, they were very skinny, they had lovely hair. I literally like loved everything about them. 15, 12 years later, they're completely different people. I wouldn't recognize half of them. I wouldn't even know who I'm speaking to. So beauty is something that can disappear. You know, one person can be beautiful one day and then a few years later it can be completely different. Even a man, you know, if you look at sometimes, maybe not a movie, that's not a good example, but I'm sure you definitely know some men that were very handsome when they were younger, and when they got a bit older, they changed, they completely changed. They look like older than ever, they have a lot of wrinkles, they lost the hair. So if you go by the looks right now, that will get you probably nowhere, and you're gonna be very lucky if you have the same look, you know, 20 years down the line. And this is Lily, by the way. Lily, let me show you my car. Come here. My baby, cutie. my next tip for you is don't give it in too quickly, meaning that you don't always have to be available, you don't always have to just chatting. Like, I've seen a lot of girls, and you know, I've done that in the past as well. I'm guilty of this, and I learned. I would say 99% of the time it doesn't work, because if you're always available, you're always on the other side of the phone, he will feel like, you know, whatever, where is the chase, where's my prize? She's just available all the time and I can have her wherever I want to. Eventually it's not good. I think he's gonna get bored pretty soon. I had the guys who would travel half of the country to come and meet me for the date, just for a few hours, and they will go all the way back. How? I don't know. I was just never available, you know, most of the times. Yes, I communicated what I want. I told them what I was doing, pretty much, more or less. And I said, unfortunately, I'm going to be busy. So he was like, okay, if you're that busy, when can I come and see you? And I said, like, literally, I had the plans for that weekend. I had the plans for the next weekend. So I said to him, I would love to meet you, but my next time when I'm going to be available, it's going to be within the next 3 weeks. And he was like, okay, let me book that in. I'm already booking the restaurant. I'm already booking a place. You know, I'm already doing something because I want to have you in my life. I want to meet you. I want to get to know you. And that's how it's supposed to be. There's nothing wrong with this. And if you feel like you have to be the one, as a woman, you have to be the one to travel across the country to meet that person, to meet the guy, I'm already telling you, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, and you're gonna hit it hard. The less you're doing for him at the beginning, the better. Because he's gonna fall in love with you if he's gonna do a lot for you. You know, it happens quite a few times when the man will try, when he will try, you know, to see how far he's gonna get with you, and he's gonna say, let's come and meet halfway. Let me come to this city. Let's say you are from different cities, and let us to meet like halfway. Sorry, no. And you can say a lot of different things why you can't do it. It's gonna be either that, you know, like, you don't have a car, you're not driving, you can't get the train, or you can just say like, no, sorry, it's not working for me. Like, that's it. Like, yes, as a woman, you have every single right to lie about it. As a person, you can just be very vulnerable and open and say, unfortunately, that's not gonna work for me, you know. And if he doesn't want to do all that traveling, if he doesn't want to do all that commitment at the beginning, that's even better. You're not crying over him. You're not gonna be like, oh my god, I just lost my chance. No, he just lost his chance to be with an incredible, amazing woman that you are. Okay, my husband also offered me, and back then I didn't even know exactly where he lived, so he offered me to meet halfway in Lava City, because when we started dating, we used to be about an hour away from each other. Okay, it was working for me because I didn't want anybody from my small town that I was living in, because it was just too small and everybody knew everybody. So it was working for me that he's gonna live a bit more far away, and he can, you know, he can show me whether he wants to travel and see me or not. First of all, I can see he was very committed from the beginning. He wasn't the one who would be just texting like there's no tomorrow. Straight away he said when we can see each other. Okay, so he wasn't playing with me. He didn't just want to chat nonsense. He was like, when can we see each other? And I said, if I was free, I said, yes, I'm free this weekend. If not, I would say that I'm free in the next 2 weekends, whatever that was. And then he said, okay, let's meet in Lava place. I didn't even know that was literally next to his house. Okay, what I knew for me is that was a lot of traveling. I think I had the car back then, but I was like, no, definitely I'm not traveling all that way to see him. And I said, well, if you don't want to meet me, that's fine. You know, that's all what I said. If you don't want to meet me, it's okay. And it was nice to see you, nice, you know, nice chatting to you. And he was like, okay, I will come tomorrow. Like, his answer was like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. I will be there. I will make sure I'm gonna see you. But he did try. He did try, because why not? If they can make their life easier, they will. And if something like this happened to you, if he's offering you something that's not very beneficial for you, you're not getting angry, you're not gonna scream at him, you're not gonna say like, oh, you know who I am, you know my worth. No, you will just politely decline and say, I'm sorry, that's not gonna work for me, and just go your way. That's what's gonna happen. So the next step that I wanted to give you, and I already said that, but let me just make it clear, you're not gonna text with him all the time, and you're not gonna chat to him all the time. No. Let me tell you the examples of this. I've seen a few of my friends, they've been texting with a guy from Tinder or from different online websites. They've been texting for months on end, okay? They've been communicating. There was one friend of mine, she was chatting to that guy for 1 year. They've never met. They've been chatting. She was like literally falling in love with him. And then one day he texts her, I'm so sorry, but I've met the love of my life and we have to stop communicating now. She was heartbroken. I swear she was. And that's not nice, but that's what's gonna happen if you're gonna allow too much, if you're gonna give yourself like on the silver platter, like here I am, you know, I'm always available for you, always. He's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go elsewhere because I don't want someone who's always gonna be available. I want a challenge. Man wants to have a challenge, period. No expectations. If he doesn't want a challenge, that means he's just looking for somebody who's gonna support him and pay for him, and yeah, just help him build the life he wants. But he's definitely not going to be there for you. Before we go to the next point, it's so important to actually know what you want to do on your dates. Everybody want to do different things. If he is the person who loves to hike, or he's the person who loves to go on like very crazy dangerous adventures, and he's going to invite you for that, especially on the first few days, and you're not into it, don't go. Don't say like, oh yeah, I love it too, and like deep down you're gonna hate it. It's not working. It's not gonna work for you, because at the end of the day, now you're trying to impress him. You're like, yes, look at me, I'm gonna do anything for you, I'm gonna give you this and this. He needs to be the one to say that, yeah? So if he's offering something that doesn't work for you, you don't go. You say, I'm so sorry, it's not working for me, I would rather do this, or how about that? So when it comes to my dating, I hated coffee dates. I just hate to go on a coffee for a date. So it was quite funny, okay, but I give you the backstory. I was in the middle, like back few years ago, before I even know about inner work, and you know, before I even understood the dynamic of man and female and different relationship things, I would just stand my ground. That was just normal. That was just who I was. So there I am doing my shopping, and I met this guy. He was he tried to take some money from the cash machine, and I was searching something on my mobile phone, and he, like, I can see, you know, like I'm doing something, but I can literally, like, I know what's happening around me. I can see that he was like, oh, hello, beautiful lady. And I'm like, oh hello. And we start chatting. Then he's like, oh, where you going? What you doing? So I was like, yeah, I'm just about to buy my shoes, and he was holding the shoes he bought just 5 minutes ago. I was like, this is just so ridiculous, but there you go. And straight away he was like, you know, he was very very confident, very open man, and he said like, I think we can have a great time together. I would love to take you for a coffee. And I said like, oh, thank you so much, you're flattering me, but I don't really do coffee dates, you know. And he was like, oh, so how do you know this is a date? You have to be confident. You need to know, like, if I was like, oh no, sorry, maybe you don't want to date with me, like, no, I stood my ground. I was like, well, this is a date for me. If you're taking me out, that's a date, sir. It was like, oh yeah, you're right, okay. So back then he'd asked me, so where would you like to go? And I said, I would love to have a dinner or something like this. Oh, straight away he was like, okay, let me take you out for the dinner. And I said, okay, that might work for me. Next thing I did personally, I didn't give my number straight away. So if I met somebody on the street, if I if I talked on the Tinder, I never give my personal number. The only time that I would give my number was the time when I knew that he's not a psycho, that I was feeling safe around that person, but it was very rare. Like my husband, he didn't have my number for a very long time. He didn't know when I was working. He didn't know what was my company name. Like he didn't have a clue. Like he didn't even know where I lived, okay? Nobody knew. And I think that's just safe. If he needs to send an Uber, or if he's really gonna be like, yeah, let me just walk down with you, and you know, if he's gonna be offering to give you the hand with anything, just don't go directly straight to your house. Go maybe a few streets before that and say, thank you very much, I'm good now, you can go. Yeah, even if he's gonna order an Uber, don't tell him his exact address. Meet that Uber guy, meet that taxi driver a few streets down the line, so nobody knows exactly who you are and where you live, unless you are very very confident in that person, and you know he's not a serial killer, you know he's not gonna make you any troubles, he's not gonna like harm you, he's not gonna you know, harm us mentally and physically too. So make sure you know who you're talking to. And when it comes to dating and the place where you want to date, as I said, I never liked the park dates, I never liked the coffee dates. I just thought, if I need to make myself looking good, if I need to like dress and do, you know, like women, we have to do a lot to present ourselves in the way that we are. Like for example, I don't wake up like this. No, I do my makeup, I do my hair, I brush my teeth, I do a lot of other things because I want to make myself presentable. Especially if you're going on a date, a first few dates, you want to make sure that you're looking good, you know, that you look good. And if the guy doesn't give you the impression that he's trying like his best, then he's not the guy for you. I know some men, they know very into fashion, and I get that. Like my husband, he doesn't know anything about fashion, he doesn't even know how to dress most of the times. Like I'm always the better looking person in our relationship, always. What he wants to wear is usually something dirty, something old, and something ripped, and he's very happy with this. He feels good with it. Lily? So maybe the guy is not very into fashion, but if he will come on a date very dirty, or he looks like he didn't brush his teeth, or he didn't brush his hair, you know, like he looks so messy, he looks like he didn't give any second thought about his look, that means he's not respecting you. Like, I think that's simple. In my opinion, if I didn't do anything to make myself look presentable, if I would literally just wake up, you know, put like the sweatshirt on and go out on a date, he'll be like, well, hold on. You know, I've made all this effort. I came here, I booked the restaurant, I've done everything that I could, that you expect me to do, and now you're looking like this. Personally, I believe that's wrong. That just shows no respect. No respect for him and no respect for you either. Okay? When it comes to the actual dates and what you're supposed to be talking about and how you're supposed to act, I think the best tip that I can give you is to really be yourself. Okay, but don't overshare and don't give too much information about yourself, because this is not the time when you're supposed to be talking about yourself. And I think it goes both ways. So the clever man, if he's very serious about you, not exactly about you because he just met you, but about his own life and about what he's looking for, he will want to know you. Okay, because he knows that if he's going to be talking only about himself, he doesn't know what the hell you are doing there. He doesn't know who you are. But I think it's been proven, okay? It's a clear science that if the guy talks to you about himself, Lily, stop. If the guy talks to you about yourself, he feels better about himself. Okay, I think it's even with the woman, you know, if the guy asks a question and she's like, Lily, co robisz? I'm getting a bit distracted here, okay? She's very naughty today. you're very naughty today. This is a fact that you need to talk at least half amount less than he's talking. You are the one interested in him, you ask the questions, you see what he's on about. What I will recommend, and that's something that I've always done, I will ask the question. It was like very innocent question, and few weeks, few months and few years down the line, I would repeat the same question. It's very interesting to see if they have the same answer. If they're gonna answer you in the same way, you know for a fact he's not lying, unless he's really super good and he remembers everything what he said to you. Usually people, you know, if you chat, usually people don't actually remember what they told you. If there is a lie, it's very difficult to keep the lie on top of the lie on top of the lie. For example, you can be like, so what are you thinking of families? Like, do you prefer to have family, or you prefer to be like more single for now? You know, just like very casual question when you're talking. So he can be like, oh yeah, I want family, I want this and this, maybe because he saw that this is what you're looking for. But then maybe if you like the guy and you're gonna meet again and again, maybe a few months down the line, you can ask the same question. Pretty much you're asking the same way, the same question, okay? Oh, so what do you think about the family? Would you like to have one, or you prefer to be single? Right then, if he was lying, he will not tell you exactly the same story. He will tell you maybe something similar but something different. Okay, so he'll be like, yeah, well, maybe I was thinking about it, maybe not now, see how it goes. You know, if you see that his answer is not very how it was, and this is important for you, you know for the fact he wasn't very honest with you, and you don't get upset again. You just keep that in your mind and see how it's all gonna progress. Be open about how you feel. If he's gonna disrespect you, you just go up and leave. Is he gonna be treating you nicely? You just have to, you know, have fun, be yourself, like asking questions. This is all about fun. I think people, when it comes to dating, they're getting so serious, and I understand this is so stressful sometimes, because it definitely was, but it's same like with interviews. I used to, like, when I started my first job, before that I had my first few interviews, I was so scared. I was literally like sweating, my palms are sweat, and I was like, oh, I can't remember my name anymore. 2 years later, I'm literally like asking them questions. Okay, now when I go and do interview, I'm asking them like, what can you do for me as a company? What can you do for me? And if they're asking me what can I do for them, I'm like, this is me, this is what you get. Make sure you don't feel like this is an interview. You don't wanna feel like you just like, okay, piece of paper, what about this, what about that, do you want to have this, what can you do for me? No, you just literally have fun. Sometimes you can ask the question without asking the questions. I hope you know what I mean. There is a story that you can tell and you can see his reaction, or there is a joke that you can tell and you're gonna be like, and you can see if he's gonna respond to this. Within that joke or within that story, there's gonna be some sort of truth that you want, that you're expecting from him, or you're expecting him to react positively or negatively, and whatever he's gonna do, then you know exactly what you know what he's like. Sometimes it can be like, you know, something very naughty. You're gonna say like a very, very naughty joke. If he's gonna be too excited about your naughty joke, that's clear red flag for me. But you don't even have to tell jokes, to be honest. You are not there to present yourself. He's there to present himself to you. And I always said, the best relationships are when the guy is more into you than you are into him. If he is, you know, if he's falling in love, or he's already in love and he's very fascinated about you, or very curious about you, or anything, it doesn't have to be love as such, you're already in a winning position. Because if you're, you know, if that's reversed and you are like, keep texting, what you doing, why you didn't text me back, why you didn't call me, are we gonna meet this weekend or what, then you chasing him, you give the clear communications that, you know, he's your prize and he's your trophy, and it shouldn't be like this. It's always the other way around. The whole question what you bring to the table, I think is just nonsense. I think it's just nonsense, and I wouldn't even answer this question at all. Like, if somebody would ask me, I would probably just either laugh to his face or leave, because it's just nonsense. Everybody brings something to the table. It doesn't matter men or women. If we know our life, our structure, if we know who's doing what, everybody brings something to the table. Everybody brings something to the life. And if somebody is asking you this question, that means he doesn't even know what he's supposed to bring. He's just expecting you to know that. Okay? I've seen the video the other day. No, that was yesterday. There was a guy who asked that lady, what you bring to the table in the relationship? And she said, oh, I'm a very good lady, I'm this and that, and I'm gonna make sure he has a tea and coffee ready when he's back home, and he's gonna have his meal together, and the house gonna be clean so he can relax. I get that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in the things that she said she would do. I think there's everything wrong that she is answering the question. What the hell you bring into the table? Like, no. And one more other tip that I want to give you about dating, as per se, like any dating, online dating, face-to-face dating, Lily, stop it. Then I just have to say that one thing. Do rotational dating, okay? If you're the person that you're a bit scared of dating, and you just feel like, oh, you know, now you're talking to that guy and he's so sweet, so nice, then you're gonna stop talking to everybody else, you lose. Yes, I said that. Okay? And I think that works in pretty much 99%. And men do it, and women do it, everybody do it, and I don't know why there's such a taboo about it, but you've got to meet so many frogs until you're gonna meet your Prince Charming. If you just meet your Prince Charming, how do you know he's the one? And I'm not saying that very, very rare, it just kind of happens, okay? Like my sister, they met each other with the husband when she was 14, and he was 14, they still together, they the high school sweethearts love. I don't know, maybe it works. Maybe it works for some people, but I would definitely say for majority of any healthy men or women, they need to meet a lot of different people and see what they like and see what they don't like. So dating is there to collect the data, dating is there to get to know people, but it's also there to get to know yourself. Throughout dating, you are understanding more about what you like. You're understanding more whether let's say you meet a guy and he's very, very shy. He's very shy. He's not very talking to you, and you don't know whether he's that shy and he can be speaking to you later on, or this is just his personality. Or then you meet a guy, but you can find out. That usually doesn't take long to find out, okay? But then let's say you meet that other man, and he is, you know, he's just talking and talking and talking. Ask yourself if you like somebody who is more on this end, who is more like very talkative and very open and very sociable, and he's always like out and about, or you prefer somebody who's more like a family person, who's gonna prefer spending more time with you, and he's gonna be at home most of the times, or he will prefer to travel around the world with his buddies. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here. That's gonna be a video number 1. There's gonna be probably I think I'm gonna create a second video and talking more about, you know, later on when you meet with the guy and you kind of like him, what to do next, how to take it to the next stage, and make sure you are not the one who's gonna chasing him. But we're gonna discuss that in the video number 2. Okay, right now I need to go to the hospital, see my dad, so fingers crossed it's all gonna be good for you. I wish you an amazing day, and yeah, if you have any questions, if you agree with something, if you don't agree with something, just comment below. Okay, have a good day. Bye.